what are you actually doing in your life to enact change? Like, is your household in order? Are you the best leader? Do you have the best habits? Are you leading and guiding your children and your wife and your community, or if you have employees, to the best of your ability? If not, stop being distracted. Stop escaping into these different mediums and focus on what you can control and start attacking that with everything that you got. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane. Hey, you guys, before I share this message, please subscribe. Share this podcast with anybody that wants to live the ultimate life, whether they're struggling and feeling stuck or they just want to take it up to that next level. My message is going to resonate with you and that audience. So go ahead and share it with somebody that you know needs to be fired up, who has potential, but who's holding back. Today, I want to share with you something powerful, man. I call it the 3 biggest distractions for men in 2024. And this could be 2024, 2025. It's the 3 biggest distractions I see for men right now in society. Number 1 is phones. Most individuals who have phones don't use them for good. They use them to escape. They're constantly watching content on social media, whether it be YouTube or TikTok or whatever, that's just distracting them and that's just allowing them to escape the moment they're in. They're not on there reading or looking up information. They're not listening like some of you guys do, but even the podcast you listen to are a distraction. I know a lot of guys and they're like, oh, I'm always listening to an audiobook or I'm always listening to a podcast. And I think a lot of people get in the habit of seeking information, but they're not implementing it at a high level. To be honest with you, the more I progress on my journey of personal development, the less podcasts and books I absorb. Like, I read a lot of books in the beginning. I still like to read, so I'm always reading a book. Podcasts, not really that much because that takes up a lot of time. A podcast is an hour long. I'm fucking doing work, man. I'm taking action. But here's the thing. Everyone has to come to terms with, like, what are you here to do and what's that purpose for you? Until you have that, it's really hard to live in alignment and to maximize your days because you're looking for this answer. You're searching for this path. I get that. I understand that. But what if I told you your path isn't always going to be found in a podcast or a book? It's actually you just taking action over time. The more action you take to improve who you are, the more clarity you get. And that's when a greater calling or purpose is unveiled to you. So if you're sitting there listening to podcasts all day long, but you have a fat belly and you know you want to be in shape, dude, maybe you should work out more, right? Like, if you're sitting there listening to podcasts all the time and watching all this content online, but you're broke and struggling financially, maybe you just need to learn some skills and implement them and make money. Like, whatever the things you need to fix are, attack that. It's still good to educate yourself and absorb these positive messages, but I see a lot of people, they're always listening to these positive messages or these podcasts, or they claim that they read a book a day or whatever it is, but they don't have good results in their physique, in their marriage, in their mindset, in their bank account, whatever it is. And I'm like, dude, that time would be better served if you were taking massive action. Like, massive action. Action is what produces results. So the information we attain initially is just to get us focused on where we need to go. Then you got to get there. You got to make every day count and fucking go, right? Take action. But for the majority of people, they're not listening to positive podcasts. They're not listening to Ed Mylett or Andy Frisella or Patrick Bet-David. They're not doing their own research. They're not listening to Joe Rogan or these high-level intelligent people. They're watching bullshit online. You're wasting your fucking day, your life, and your time. And you have to recognize that phone is a major distraction for you, okay? The second one, and these are in no particular order, but it's porn. A lot of guys suffer from a porn addiction. Well, why is that bad? Because every time you have this craving, you give into it and you weaken yourself because of that. And then you're staring at people having sex on the screen and looking at these images. It fucks your brain up, dude. Like, do you have a wife or a girlfriend? Like, go be intimate with her, right? If you're always looking at porn, you're always jerking off, it's going to take away your desire to be intimate and connect with your significant other. Okay, you're not going to be as attracted to her, as drawn to her. You're not going to have that desire to go want to make love to her because you already got off watching some fucking porn. Like, dude, it's lame, it's pathetic, and you're better than that. Stop watching other people do shit on the screen. Go live it out in your own life. If you want to be a porn star, go practice with your wife or your girlfriend. Give them that love. Give them that passion. Give them that energy, right? That's the truth. Now, the other one, and this might be the most impactful one right now, it's sports. It's football. It's TV. It's football, it's baseball, it's basketball. You guys talk about these teams and you say, my team. They're not your team. They've never paid you. They don't even know who you are, okay? You wear their jerseys. You talk about it all the time. You spend all day Saturday, all day Sunday, on the couch watching the TV. You go in on your phone, you check these bullshit statistics. Then, not only on Saturday and Sunday you watch it, but they have sports fucking analysts on all the time. I go to the gym in the morning, and these shows are on 3-4 hours every morning. I know so many of you guys are so obsessed with watching this stuff. Now, I get it because I'm an athlete. As a kid at 9 years old, I used to watch SportsCenter every night. I'd watch the recap of all the games. I would study this stuff. I loved it, but that's because I wanted to be a professional athlete, so I was studying and preparing myself to get into those arenas. Once that opportunity was gone, fuck that. I'm not wasting time watching that stuff. I'm going to go out and live my life and create my vision. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and escape into a screen and think about what could have been and talk about my heydays and how good I was in junior high at baseball. Like, that chapter of my life is closed. Now, if you have the opportunity to make it into the big leagues, you have an opportunity to be a coach, you have an opportunity to be a scout, yeah, do your research and make sure you're privy to all the right information. But if you're just a couch potato and you're, what do they call it? Like I don't know, like a couch champion, or there's a certain term they use, right? A Sunday warrior, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but if you're one of those guys that just lives, breathes, and dies for Sunday football, and you watch it all day on these sports analysis shows, and you're doing fantasy football, and you're in your phone looking at stats and statistics, but you're not being the best dad, the best husband, you're not creating the ultimate impact in your life, I want to challenge you and say, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you're wasting so much time and spending so much energy consumed by football or fantasy football or these teams that you call yours, and they have no idea who you are, and you've never got a paycheck from them. They've never called you. They've never given you a shout out. Your name's not on the stadium or the back of a jersey. You got to let that shit go. These things are distracting people, and it's not just sports. It's also TV. A lot of guys, a lot of grown men are obsessed with CNN and watching the ticker and watching the news and trying to keep their up to date on politics and what's taking place. But what are you actually doing in your life to enact change? Like, is your household in order? Are you the best leader? Do you have the best habits? Are you leading and guiding your children and your wife and your community, or if you have employees, to the best of your ability? If not, stop being distracted. Stop escaping into these different mediums and focus on what you can control and start attacking that with everything that you got. This is how you be a real leader. This is how you create true freedom. And this is how you're going to escape the rat race of life that consumes everybody. Stop escaping, start tapping in. Fucking let's go.